we started to notice traffic coming from small towns in the middle of US. Something is kind of wrong. Audience network placement had like CTRs were like 40% plus.
Whoa.
Usually they're like between 1 and 2, right?
Whoa.
And the traffic was really cheap, like 2 cents. That whole inflated metrics for like CTRs and CPCs was making the picture blurry. But be prepared to remake all your creative reports for the last 5 months.
There is a direct correlation between how much one media buyer complains, talks about Meta on Twitter, has the juice on what's happening now, fixing tweaks. Meta, where are you? There's a direct correlation between that and performance. And this guy's feed is gold. Him and David Herman always know, they're always ahead of the game. And we had to get this guy in here because there's a number of things we need to talk about. Rok, get inside of this show, sir. We need you. We need you.
Let's go.
Yes.
What an intro. Hey, guys.
Oh.
Rok, now, I think that you are not in the United States right now. You are somewhere in Europe. Is that right?
Right. I'm right in the middle in Europe, in Slovenia.
You are in Slovenia.
Yes.
Wow. Now, Rok, is that why you are such a Luka Doncic fan? I mean, is there a connection there?
Oh, well, of course. Slovenia is a small country. Luka is my friend. I follow him everywhere. So.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah.
That's right. And I want to tell you, Colin and I, we are fully on board with you, both feet, 10 toes down. You need to be running ads for Luka on his new Shopify store. We 100%. Want to do anything that we can to make that happen, sir.
I mean, whatever it takes, basically, right? I'm pretty good at this. Luka has a good brand, so you know,
yeah,
we can only
I think
win.
So.
Yeah,
I think it's a match made in heaven. I was gonna cold email Mark Cuban. He famously does answer a few cold emails, so you know it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
man,
Mark quoted me on X a couple of months ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, but after I told him a lot of bad things when Luka got traded, he's now ignoring me for some reason.
Just giving him feedback, and he's just reading it like, dang, I gotta get back to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I have probably like a 10,000 fire Nico tweets out, so you know.
Wow, that is hilarious, man. Rok, I have been seeing you beat this drum on Twitter as of late, or X for our fancy friends. I have been seeing you beat the drum of Meta's audience network and why this thing is such a scam. Now, what I would love for those of our listeners who are not as deep in the trenches inside of ad accounts as you are, and I'd love if you would give our audience perspective. What is audience network? And why can you not trust the data that it is feeding you, and why you need to rid yourself of it immediately?
All right, so the scam word may be a little bit too much, but I use it extra engagement, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that said, like it's still pretty bad. So the audience network is basically a set of placements. Meta now that calls this a channel that's like outside of the Meta ecosystem. So it's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's not Messenger, it's not Threads. It's like third-party mobile apps, some mobile website, and some in-app videos. So basically, it's how Meta is expanding its reach, its placement, and lowering your CPMs. And up until September last year, everything was kind of fine, right? The traffic was cheap, the reach was kind of decent, you get some conversions out of it, and you can basically make some money, right? Then some bad things happened, some very weird things happened, right? So we started to notice in some brands that we manage, like high-spending brands, traffic coming from small towns in the middle of US, like with 5,000 population, we get like 20 clicks out of them. You know, like, what is this? Like VPNs, maybe bots, okay, maybe let's move over, right? So we were kind of MBD, no problem. It's not so much traffic, it doesn't affect performance. Then fast forward a couple of weeks later, we started to basically figure out, hey, so something is kind of wrong, right? We have very high CTRs, very low CPCs, not a lot of spend, but something is kind of wrong in the metric. And we start digging. And we basically saw that the audience network placement had like CTRs, which are like soft metrics, somebody who engages with your ads and click on it, were like 40% plus. Whoa. Usually they're like between 1 and 2, right?
Whoa.
and the traffic was really cheap, like 2 cents, right? Which is cheap. And then even if your spend is low on a macro level, this makes look your ad set like very well performing. So my friend Jess from Fireteam that you guys had a guest 2 weeks ago, I said to him, hey Jess, I'm sorry, but your creatives don't actually have this good CTR, right? Because of the audience network, it's inflating. He came back to me, but the ROAS is good. And I said, yes, of course, the ROAS is good. Anyway, back on the point. So that whole inflated metrics for like CTRs and CPCs was making the picture blurry. And we were digging. We basically saw that all the traffic coming from those small towns via like UTMs and the ad sets from where the traffic was coming was from the audience network. So basically low quality traffic, shit quality traffic that's never going to convert. And on some accounts, it made, I don't know, 1% of total ad spend. On other accounts, 10% of total ad spend. So yeah, turn it off if you see bad performance. But be prepared to remake all your creative reports for the last 5 months.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
confirm it's a bug. We're fixing it slowly-ish and so on. But yeah, I'm on the safe side. We turn this off on the account level.
And are you seeing when people are launching new creative ad sets, et cetera, audience network is automatically turned on? Is that happening at times and people have to go in and make sure that you've got it turned off?
Well, yeah, as always with Meta, right? Even if you turn it off on the ad set level and you have pre-selected as turned off, same as with Advantage Plus, they like to sneakily enable all these little things, to make your CPMs look better because, hey, we have more users on the platform. You're not paying more, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we turn it off and its performance is better.
Wow.
I think a lot of agency operators might have said, hey, numbers look good. Let's not touch it. You know, it's looking juicy.
You know, if you zoom out and look on a macro level, everything kind of makes sense, right? But then if you're digging and seeing and so on, I mean, there were also a lot of tweets and reports of people seeing like very low CPMs, very high CTRs, but they didn't go to the breakdowns. Nobody thought about it. So if you go down the rabbit hole till the end, you're going to see that it's like Android devices, audience network placements for very specific US towns. So if somebody from Meta is looking, I gave you all the info you need. If you're ignoring my emails I've been sending you for the last couple of weeks. So
that's amazing. Have you dived into Manus, what they just released? Have you dove into that at all and played around with that?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, I am super fascinated that they just decided to basically clone, and they're just like, cool, I'm gonna clone it and deploy it. And I'm very curious any feedback anyone has for users of Manus, and I'm sure it's very good. But you know, it's obviously a clone.
Well, tell me this philosophically, Rok. I think about a lot of these new developments inside of Meta. You know, the automatic optimizations, and I think a lot of these new things, they often scare me. I'm so hesitant anytime there is a new thing, especially if they're saying it's going to be the best. I'm always hesitant. Do you think similarly, or are you always hey, we want to try the brand newest thing and let's roll this out? And what do you think philosophically as far as it comes to your agency?
Philosophically, well, that's a very deep question. But I'm on both sides. On one side, I'm scared because when Meta releases something, it usually breaks everything down, and you have to double check all the settings, all the backend settings, and blah blah blah. But then at the same time, some of the new things they release, like dynamic ads, partnership ads, right, listing, those are all very good tools to use. So you need to kind of embrace it, understand how Meta works. Hey, we just release stuff, things are going to get broken, you have to live with that, and eventually we're going to fix it. Also, the releases and the fixes are coming in waves to your ad account. So one ad account might have it from day one, the others might have to wait for like 6 months and so on. But it's the game they're playing, and you know, we're here because of Zuckerberg. So I just follow.
We are. Yeah. Thank you, boss. We are here because of Zuck. Colin, my gripe, and perhaps this gets into my love-hate relationship, but it's really love. But my gripe is that a lot of times when it comes to, hey, things happening with the audience network, or hey, perhaps this new optimization actually is all we it's cracked up to be, all we projected it to be right now. Things are breaking. We don't get communication from Meta specifically. You have to follow people like Rok and David Herman to be at the cutting edge. That's part of my gripe. I mean, do you see the same thing, Colin? Absolutely.
It's insane, the level of transparency that's coming from them. And then they're just like, yeah, sorry, it's broken. Yeah, it's been broken for a couple of months now. I'm so sorry. And then it just kind of squeaks out. And then you find out from these folks. I just wish there was a different level of communication that was from them, where we were more privy, where it seems like there's only a small subsect of people that actually know about this, unfortunately.
Rok, who's your inside guy?
Sure. Who's your inside guy? Yeah.
You've got an inside guy at Meta.
It's me and David.
Right, that is the inside guy.
Yeah, like I have this advantage. I'm in an earlier time zone, so if they release changes in the morning, I'm the first one to notice, and I ping him. If they release them in the evening, I then wake up and have 20 messages from David. Everything is broken. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You got to follow Rok and David. Rok, give me your view. Just transitioning a little bit here. Give me your view on the AppLovin kerfuffle as of late. There's a lot of people that have had a great experience, brand side, agency side. There's also plenty of people on the other side. Hey, we're not a fan. We did not get a great experience. I'll just tell you personally, I've had a great experience with the platform, and money is going up, not just numbers in a dashboard, but at the bottom line inside the P&L. Give me your perspective as you've stepped into this and waded into it. What do you think of AppLovin?
Yeah, I mean, what I think a lot of people kind of do wrong, like you firstly have to understand your funnel and where different channels are the best in the step of the funnel or the customer journey, right? Before you even start testing and make some hypothesis, hey, so this is a bottom type of funnel, middle, or like pure top of funnel perspective, right? After that, obviously, you need the right creatives to make your audience engage at that step of their journey and so on. And then you start testing. And the best way to do it is kind of to not be biased by it. So kind of reading the newsletters, the tweet, oh my God, it's working really well, or it should work for me as well. It's a bottom funnel channel and so on. Just kind of, okay, cool. This is my assumption. This is how I usually test a new channel. I'm going to launch ads and then just basically what I call follow the money. So follow your P&L, right? See what happens. Look at the numbers. If the number makes sense, like make as many tests as possible to prove that you're either right or wrong at what's kind of working, or where in your journey AppLovin can play a big role. And it's different for brands. Like some brands were having very good success both at prospecting and retargeting. Some brands is good just for retargeting. So yeah, but you have to test it.
Yeah, it's frustrating to me that every platform doesn't just automatically work for every product, but I think that's sage advice.
We got pretty lazy because Meta, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
At least to a certain degree, it's a lot easier than all the other platforms. And then everybody thinks, okay, cool, if I know how to do media buying on Meta, I'm going to do everything else. But that's not true. Like Meta's algorithm is very efficient at finding new customers. It's really good for testing all sorts of things and so on. Other channels, especially when they're in development, like for example, AppLovin 1 year ago, it's completely different than what it is right now. So, and things keep evolving. So you need to have this always be testing mentality.
Rok, I appreciate that, because I took this stance with Chris when we first talked about it, where I said, you just have to test it. I'm so tired of these people just poo-pooing it. And it's like, okay, cool. Did you do a holdout test? And you're like, no, it's not going to work. And I'm like, well, you didn't do a holdout test, dummy. You actually have to test the platform first. Like, you're coming, I want to see the data. This is all I care about. Are there any platforms that you personally are really excited about, aside from Meta and maybe AppLovin, where you're just like, I'm really excited for how they're developing the kind of that ad platform in 2026?
I mean, obviously Meta, it's the king, queen, whatever. I don't know, if you're spending $500,000, you have to double that number and you have potential. So that's the number one. AppLovin is definitely something to monitor, keep an eye on. TikTok shops, TikTok, also organic TikTok. It's something we're doing We're also seeing brands who are kind of like 9-figure brands who are spending a lot of money on Meta, doing like connected TV, programmatic TV, and so on. So it's very different. But if it comes to, if there's one channel I'm really excited, not really. I'm looking forward to seeing ads in all these ChatGPTs and how that goes down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we are too. Yeah, we are too. Yeah, hopefully the buy-in is a lot lower than it's been reported so far. They keep lowering it down.
I mean, the CPMs are going to be low, right? So
yeah,
we're going to see.
Hopefully.
Rok, tell me, and I know you guys, you have an expansive service offering. I mean, you're not just operating in D2C. You're helping B2B. You know, you've got consumers and brands in every space that you've worked with, and you're not just running ads. You have a wide service offering. Tell me how you see AI changing operations inside of your business, you know, the role of the media buyer, what it means for creative. Just give us kind of Google Earth out, zoomed out, larger perspective on how this is changing the nature of your work and the workflows, et cetera, and what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, it changed a lot, right? It's a huge add-on. It simplified a lot of reporting, a lot of things that we, I don't know, had automated via macros, Zapier, or other tools, right? Now we're just like one click away. So we put a lot of effort into automating like all the reporting, getting actionable items out of these, creative iterations, ideas, and so on. So that helped definitely kind of with all this mass stuff on a macro level to simplify it, like just being one click away. And that's huge, right? But I'm mostly focusing on seeing, okay, cool, this is the AI thing, it's gonna go one way, there are like trillions being invested into it. I'm more focused on, okay, cool, what's the human role gonna be?
Yeah.
What are we gonna be doing? I was in LA like 2 weeks ago, and I was with one of my partners driving in a Waymo, right? And we were like, oh, yeah, this is so clean, this is so smooth, the car is driving fast. And he was like, yeah, you know what the taxi drivers are doing now? And I'm like, no, what are they doing? He was like, they're cleaning Waymos.
Oh, wow.
Right, at the end of the shift, right? So I'm now wondering, cool, okay, if AI is going to do everything, what is our role going to be? And that's what I'm kind of thinking. So what is the future of the media buyer, right? Or what is the future of the creative, the graphic designers, and so on? That, I mean, a lot of them are going to be jobless, especially those small and medium. There's a huge filter that's being created. Like if you're a very mediocre type of guy or just a subcontractor for button pushing, you are already without a job. So you have to think kind of 2 steps ahead. And obviously anything that kind of has strategy that's related to client trust, to what are the next steps that the business should be taking, that's where the future of kind of human interaction is going to be with the help with AI. And for media buyers, I see them kind of going 2 paths, either becoming like creative strategists, meaning working with the creative teams and in between speaking with the media buyers, algorithms, and taking everything into consideration, business model, blah, 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 or being kind of the treasury manager, meaning, hey, cool, this is me, Rok, Chris, I'm trusting you with one of my $1 million, right? I'm not sure I'm going to trust AI with $1 million and not look at it. I'm going to want to have somebody with experience to trust with that money to kind of spend it or allocate it in the best efficient way.
Wow. I think that's an insightful phrase for the role of media buyers and perhaps increasingly their role in the future. But I think even right now, you know, really, I do think this is an apt description of what really is the role of the media buyer largely in our mind. It's not just, hey, set some budgets, upload ads. No. It's, I am entrusting you with this amount of money. Here is the target for the kind of return based on these metrics that we need. Please go and allocate wisely. And hey, if you can get me more, then we all win. You know, I think this is a really apt description of the role of the media buyer. It's more of a treasury manager.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're just a button pusher or subcontractor, then you're already without a job because there are a lot of tools that can do that for you and tweak the budgets up and down based off, I don't know, 3 days performance or whatever. But the moment you're deeply involved with the brand, with what their goals are, forecasting, business development, and everything else, right? You're taking all of that in consideration and then spend the money in the most efficient way or kind of make the most revenue as possible. And that's more than just the work in the ad account. And just tweak budgets.
Yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
It sounds more like it's approaching, you're becoming a steward. So you're like the steward of scale at that point, where we are bestowing this capital onto you, and we're hoping that you're going to be the steward of the capital and scaling the capital as you get entrenched with our business, and we trust you.
Yeah, like a fund manager, a treasury manager. And this is how I look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rok, tell me about this. There's a few sides of this as far as advertising is concerned, and specifically on the creative piece, creative diversity, different angles, and then, people are coming at this different ways. There is, hey, use AI to make 1,000 ads for you tonight while you're eating dinner, deploy, and let's see how it works. There's also another angle. No. Let's really focus. Let's keep the human mind and hands involved, and let's make works of art that we, based on our experience, feel are truly going to be bangers. Let's make that kind of bet. How do you approach this? What's your mindset when it comes to creative diversity and how to deploy that in an effective way?
So for max engagement, I could say immediately, no, go AI, forget humans, like just push buttons and make a billion of creatives instantly, right? But honestly, I think the way to go is kind of in the middle, right? I foresee a future where content creators are going to have a verified human check mark, right? So you're going to know this is a human being telling you a story or trying to sell you something and blah, blah, blah. And then on the other hand, you're going to have tons of AI bots making those routine purchases for you that are based just on some technical attributes or whatever, just one click away, right? Anything else, anything that has any sort of emotions or stuff that you are putting at yourself that you want to kind of have an experience from somebody else, there's still going to be a lot of human interactions. And so, the truth or how I see it is definitely in between. Like, and also a big thing, like creative diversification, right? Or diversified. A lot of people misunderstood this. Like they think, okay, I need 1,000 creatives. No, you just need 10, but they need to be very different.
That's
right?
a great point.
So it's like 10 different concepts, 10 different angles, but they need to be heavily different. And Andromeda and a lot of brands that are having challenges post Andromeda updates is just because of that. They've been printing the same creative all and over again, telling the same story all over again. You're basically just limiting the bubble of the customers you can kind of touch and speak with. So,
wow.
Colin, I know Rok is a busy man, and I really appreciate you making the time to join us on the show, Rok. Before he gets out of here, I really want to ask him, like, who does he see in the space, either brands that he is working with or others that he feels are crushing it in this regard when it comes to creative. But before I ask him that, is there anything else that you have in your tank that you want to get his insight on before we get there?
Yeah, for sure. I think just one of the big things is, what AI tools have you been seeing that you use personally that have basically revolutionized your workflow? I think one for me that I always tell Chris he needs to pick up is Super Whisper or Whisper Flow. And this has basically revolutionized my workflow completely. Are there any in the past, maybe, month, 6 months that you're just like, I can't even imagine my workflow without this anymore?
I mean, we build a lot of workforce on cloud for the agency reporting for the day-to-day stuff. So that's if you have any sort of like repetitive task, repetitive reporting, data that you can import or connect via APIs and so on, that's definitely the way to do it. But I've been switching between ChatGPT and Gemini for whatever question I have, business related or non-business related, right? I think a lot of psychologists are going to run out of jobs because like people are fixing their problems with ChatGPT and having discussion one-on-one about their life choices, right? But all the tools like Whisper is also a great one. So it's definitely worth to test and see. And I'm pretty excited on what's coming and can't wait to test.
Well, I appreciate your perspective on that. And you've brought this up several times. Hey, you got to go this direction and upskill yourself lest you get left behind. I think that's very actual. And I truly believe it for what we do in marketing every day and in every way. If you are entry role, then man, it's harder to get that thing. And if you've been at it for a few years and you're still, call it bottom 30% inside of your org, there's a good chance that what you do could get relegated to an agent that does it with the right structure that the boss wants, and et cetera, et cetera. So I appreciate your sense of warning on that. I think it's actual, and I think it's true.
I call this like the great filter, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be just filtered out, and yeah.
Wow, that's what Chris and I have talked about previously, where we think that it's going to be so much harder. Where I always use the analogy where it would be crazy for you to come into a workplace and not bring your laptop, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, we use laptops in the workplace. What are you doing?" And I think the same thing is going to be with AI in like 3 years from now. People are going to be like, dude, obviously we're using AI. What are you doing? Why are you manually doing all this stuff? I think it's going to get there. I don't know if it's 2 years from now. I don't know if it's 3 years, but it's going to be really quick.
Yeah, like where is your agent, right? Or
where's your agent? What's your agent's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Or your 10 or 12 agents.
12 agent. Yeah. Who's your bundle of agents here?
Rok, before you go, man, I'd love to get your perspective. Any brands that come to mind that you feel are really cracking it as far as creative diversity and what they're doing on the paid side? Anything come to mind, top of mind for you?
A lot of brands, but I'm not going to name a brand. I'm going to name the category, right? Like food supplements, right? They're all selling the same thing. It's powder with something, right? Usually from 2-3 manufacturers, which are at the end the same. They have high margin, and 70% of that margin goes into marketing. So, they are very creative. The only thing that differentiates between themselves is the creatives, the communication. So if you're looking for inspiration, you just need to follow them as many as possible. Look for those who have like content creators, not influencers, like forget the fancy brands with fancy names. That's a different story, but look for content creators and what type of content is resonating well with the audience on the other side. And that's a very good example.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Rok, we appreciate you making the time and joining the show, sir, especially so late in the day over there in Slovenia. Man, where can people find you, follow you, talk with you, work with you? Where can they find you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter or X, how the fancy guys call it, or on LinkedIn. But yeah, on X, I'm there 24/7.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, man, we appreciate you coming. We look forward to talking with you again. We'll have you back.